Madam Toastmaster, fellow members, and most welcome guests. It's official, as of yesterday. According to Toastmasters International, my primary leadership style is authoritarian. In other words, I am a little dictator. According to Myers-Briggs, I am also an ENTJ, which means I am the commander, the field marshal. It's a leadership style that effectively kind of strives to fulfill a vision, strives to achieve the goal, and turn chaos into order, to summarize things broadly. But how did I end up that way? How could a very shy kid that was drawing pictures from cartoon movies and playing in the sandpit and watching others destroying his creation end up that way? A little dictator. Well, let me go back in time up to when I was 2 years old, to one of my earliest memories. It was at dinner with my dad, and I did something that my dad didn't like. And the answer was across the face. Right immediately afterwards, my dad was a stern character, an authoritarian. In many respects, he still is. His way to motivate me to find a new job over Christmas was very simple. Florian, you are the shame of the family and a failure. Thank you, Dad. And this experience kind of shaped me, because when I was at home, I had to do things a certain way, to be back by a certain time, and this is something I kind of still expect to other people and the people that work for me right at this very moment in a lot of respect. When I was at school, I wasn't really a leader. I was doing well, I was a follower, and I was bullied, actually. So didn't really have much opportunities to lead. I was just being chased around on the playground and just would hit my face so that they would not eat me. However, I had an escape valve, an imaginary word I could escape into. It was a word of video games. I was on these video games, I was doing fantastic things. Leading companies, building new cities from scratch, leading empires and army to great victories to conquer the world. I absolutely loved it. And when my allotted time was over, I was like, oh, I don't want to go, please let me press the save button. I still love it. I played about 50 to 60 hours of them over the Christmas holidays. And as I kind of matured up and kept that interest in history, politics, and doing things I actually acquired from the video games, I started to notice a few trends. I started to notice that in history, in organization, there was one key ingredient that would distinguish success from failure. And that ingredient was leadership. I got an interest in it at university, started to lead a group there. But everything only really blossomed when I joined Toastmasters 6 years ago. There I could see the possibilities. I could see that I would have to learn more about leadership. And this is where I learned the importance of another ingredient, the vision. The first ever meeting of my high performance project, which was a project to learn more about leadership with a guidance committee, I had to craft a vision to inspire others so they could rally around it and help me fulfill it. And I kind of learned about the secret sauce that day. But I kind of still remained a bit authoritarian. I was aware that I was somebody that liked to get things done. And I got a few people in the room can know I'm still very much that way. I can see a lot of people nodding in a gentle way. But as I learned more and more about leadership, I also became conscious of another thing. It is that leading people in real life, it's not like leading armies on the computer screen. If they all die, it doesn't matter. You can just press the reload button and try again. In real life, it doesn't work that way. Because every single one of you is a unique, multifaceted human being with thoughts and emotions. And leading people can be quite difficult as a result. And this is sometimes the thing I struggle with. I want things done my way, I want the deadlines to be made, I want the slides by tomorrow, but sometimes people have got constraints that I must acknowledge. And it's kind of quite difficult sometimes. The test showed that, but I didn't score as badly as I feared. So you see there's hope for me. I'm not going to end up like our North Korean friend, Kim, whatever his name is. And when I think about this, I think of a quote by a famous Chinese author called Sun Tzu. He wrote a book called The Art of War. And in that book, there is a sentence that's a bit of a gem, in my view. And he says, regard your soldiers as your children, and they will follow you into the deepest valleys. Look upon them as your own beloved sons, and they will follow you even unto death. 3,000 years ago, that Chinese gentleman had already identified that leadership was only possible with emotion. It's good to be a rational mind, it's good to get things done, it's good to turn order into chaos. But if you cannot build an emotional connection, if you cannot rally people around you to do that, the task will remain unfulfilled and you will have nobody to lead you. This is why I'm starting to see leadership increasingly as a kind of dance, a multifaceted dance where one has to lead people, be able to connect with them on a monetary level. How are you doing today, Sharon? How are your cats? But also to sometimes say, I do need to get these done by tomorrow, please, because we have something important to do. Or even sometime to go into one of my favorite modes, let's start to crunch the numbers and compute through the pattern. Leadership is a dance. And I would like to invite an invitation to you all. Would you like to come and dance with me, please? Madam Toastmaster.